Welcome to episode 259 of the AHRC Marathon Training Vlog. MK here with Wilbur on a beautiful Monday morning. Today is recovery day and the kids are out with Uncle Denny on a 7-mile recovery run. No hill sprints today. We're going to work really hard tomorrow in a track session with 1K intervals. But today is a special day because my good friend Marsha Deere is going to join us for an interview. 2024 is a special year for Marsha because she's going to turn 70 years young. Let's go. I think that Marsha is a fantastic role model for the All Heart community, and I believe that you'll all agree. Enjoy the interview. Hey Marsha, I hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much for taking some time to share your story with all of us.
Hey Michael, how are you doing today? Thanks for having me on. First, I want to say how much I've enjoyed your YouTube channel. It's been a pleasure to watch your videos and to watch your club, your crew running together, especially your kids.
Thanks so much, Marsha. And once again, it's great having you on. So when and how did you get started in running?
I started running in the 70s, in the late 70s. I started running because I was in my 20s. I was a young mother, single mother of a toddler who had a lot of medical issues. I worked full time. I went to night school. I was completely burning the candle at both ends, so much so that I ended up with shingles at the ripe old age of 25. So I felt terrible, but I was lucky enough that it was the first running boom, and I just had read A Runner's World, and then I was a big learner, so I got the books written by Jim Fix and Dr. George Sheehan, who were the experts at the time, and great information. And then I was lucky enough to have one of the men where I work, or the company that I work at, had asked me to join their team for a local 15K. They needed a woman runner. And I said, oh, sure. And here I'd really only just run around the block, which was terribly hard for me at the time, and I agreed to run a 15K. But anyway, so that's kind of how it started. I had to train for that, and then I got hooked running. Back then, well, obviously there was no social media or even internet, but back then there weren't a lot of long races. I ran a lot of 5Ks. In fact, they had women's 5Ks back then because I think the conventional wisdom were that women couldn't run past 5 kilometers. So we had a lot of 5Ks. There were some 10Ks too. So then I was lucky enough. I went on active duty in the Navy as a judge advocate. And I was lucky that the military not only requires that you stay physically fit, but also provides you with time and encouragement to do so. So that fed my love of running and my passion for running and my fitness.
I love that you became an avid marathoner later in your 60s. You're a role model for me as I move into my 50s. What prompted your love of the marathon later in life?
I have run more marathons since turning 60 than I did before 60. I had run, my very first marathon actually was in 1986 when I was 32 years old, and it just happened to be in New York City, and which was an interesting experience since back then we didn't really have any training, or there was no coaching and no aids, no nutrition or even Gatorade that I remember back then. So it was quite the experience. But after that, I ran 3 more marathons in my 30s and actually qualified for Boston the first time at the age of 38. However, after that, I took 22 years off between between marathons. Sorry about that. And because of just life, work, my son, who was born with a genetic disease that was life-threatening, took a lot of care, and so I kept running for the most part, always. I just didn't run marathons. So after he passed away when I was in my 50s, and I decided I needed, to immerse myself in something big. And so then that's when I rediscovered my love for marathons. And since then I've run, I'm not exactly sure, 15, maybe 17 marathons. I've run Boston 3 times in my 60s. And unfortunately I missed the cut this year for 2024 by 21 seconds. But I haven't given up and going back at least one more time. I think it's a great distance. It's a great distance for me. It's challenging. I think that's the whole reason I do it, is just because it's just a challenge. It's physically a challenge above and beyond any other race distance that I would do. I'm not really able or willing to do an ultra because I have some physical limitations.
Running seems to have kept you strong, and it looks like marathon has reshaped your life. Good for you, Marsha. I think it is amazing that you continue to challenge yourself. What is your goal for 2024?
So 2024 is a big one for me. I am turning 70 in March, and not exactly sure how I got to be 70, but I mean, I know, but it happens fast. And so as a celebration of my 70th trip around the sun, I've decided to run 7 marathons in 2024. I thought I might be able to do 7 in 7 months, but because my first one is London in April, and I want my last one to be CIM in December as kind of a revenge tour, because CIM didn't turn out great for me this last year. It won't be in 7 months, but I'm giving myself a break on that, and I figure if I can survive 7 marathons in 1 year, which would definitely be the most marathons I've ever run in a year, I'll be doing good. 3 of those marathons are the majors, or 3 majors: London, Berlin, and Chicago. And of course, I already have New York and Boston. So then I would only be, the only thing left is Tokyo after that. But so stay tuned. We'll see how each one goes in the recovery period. But that, other than a couple of shorter races, that's my plan for 2024.
Wow, 7 marathons in 1 year, and London, Berlin, and Chicago all this year? You're a superstar, Marsha. You are a true example of achievement. From your work in the Navy as a JAG officer to now as a Boston qualified marathoner. What is your advice for young people like Cole, Haven, and Evan?
So thank you again for being so kind and saying that. I think first, I have to say, I think your kids are extremely well-grounded and seem dedicated and focused, and way more than I was at their age, or I would surmise most people's kids were, and most people were at that age. So my hat's off to you for that, and to them. So I'm not sure how much advice I can give them, other than to say that motivation from time to time will lag. I'm not always motivated, but I set goals. And that's what I would say is if you set goals and you do your best to accomplish those goals, then even if you fall short, you have a bad workout or a bad result, you've done everything you can, and don't let it get you down or take you off the path that you want to go. Just consider it a blip, a learning experience, and move on.
Thank you so much for the wisdom. Cole, Haven, and Evan will be grateful. What advice do you have for our AHRC community who are working hard to qualify for the Boston Marathon?
As far as advice for people trying to qualify for the Boston Marathon, I'd say stay at it. Don't expect it to happen overnight. I mean, for some people that are natural athletes or have a background in high school and college, maybe it does happen overnight, what we would consider overnight. But for most mere mortals, like me, I had to work really, really hard. And the older you get, the harder you have to work. I have to say, when I qualified at 38, it was a heck of a lot easier than qualifying at 69. But put in the work that you need to do. Make your easy days easy. So that you can avoid those dreaded injuries that keep you from the starting line, because that's the goal. You want to get qualified, but you want to get to the starting line as well. I'd also say set realistic goals. A lot of people will say they want to qualify for Boston, but they're either inexperienced marathoners or they have a huge deficit to overcome, and maybe it's not their time yet or they're not ready. But talk to other people that that are experienced coaches like MK to do some tests and look back at your most recent races, etc., to see how much improvement you can make. But again, stick at it. I mean, some people try for 20 years before they qualify, but they do qualify.
Great advice from an athlete who qualified for the Boston Marathon at age 38 and 69. Thank you, Marsha. What is your best advice for anyone wanting to start running again or start running for the very first time?
In terms of advice for people that are just starting to run or coming back to running, I would say, first of all, you can't go from zero to hero overnight. So what I mean by that is just take it slow. If you need to walk first, walk. If you need to graduate to run, walk, do that. And then, keep it easy. Build your endurance before you even think about any kind of speed. And I mean go slow. MK has a video on MAF or low heart rate. That is absolutely for a new runner or somebody coming back. That is definitely the way to go to build that aerobic engine, because that's the whole base of where everything else builds. So, and have fun with it. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. And I would also say, if you have a chance, please join a running club, a local running club, and at least get together with them for their joint runs, whether it's once a week or twice a week, because you'll always find somebody that is about your ability. Plus, runners are absolutely just the most supporting, great community that you can imagine. All my best friends are runners, and I've gotten through a lot of challenges and tragedies in my life because of running. So I think it's completely rewarding, and I highly encourage you to get in it and take it easy, a little at a time, and then you'll get there. Again, though, goes back to setting goals, setting realistic goals, and just getting out there every day. Be dedicated, even if you're not always motivated.
Going slow is the way to go for beginner runners. I love it. And you know what? My best friends are all runners too. Thanks so much for taking time to share your story, Marsha. AHRC is so fortunate to have you on the blog.
So thanks for having me, NK. I can't wait to see what happens in your journey and the journey of Cole, Haven, and Evan. I'm so thrilled for them to be to have a great coach and to be starting in their running journey.
What a treat to have such a special guest on the blog. Thanks for joining us during this wonderful interview with Marsha Deere. Marsha is definitely a role model for me and my kids, and I think she can be for you as well. Please be sure to like this video and help out the algorithm. Smash that subscribe button, really helps our channel a ton. Visit us on Instagram by searching for AHRC, and even though I'm not running right now, you can find me on Strava by searching for Michael Kim at AHRC. Hey, and get on our leaderboard by joining our Strava club by searching for AHRC. What a fantastic way to spend Monday morning while waiting for the kids and Denny to finish up their recovery run. What do you say, bud? What do you say? Wilbur and I hope you have a fantastic day and a meaningful run. We'll see you in the next one. All right, bye now. What do you say?